Welcome in to another transformational edition of the Global Leaders Podcast. Listen, I am super excited for you to be here at the virtual roundtable because we're having some great conversations. I mean, over the past few weeks, heck, over the past few months, God has really been meeting us right here as I'm sitting and I'm discussing with leaders of all kinds from all parts of the world about what matters most, their obedience, their walk with Christ as it pertains to their leadership and how it translates in their industries and in their ministries. And I'm super excited about yet again another conversation that we're getting ready to have with, I believe is a new dear brother to me. We have just had an opportunity to meet, so we're still getting a chance to know one another. But just reading his story and what God has him doing right now really encourages me, and I hope that it encourages you. So I want you to stick around. There is a great conversation to be had today. But welcome to the Global Leaders Roundtable. This is where kingdom leaders gather to ignite ideas, to share experiences, and create a lasting impact in culture, in business, in ministry. Our conversations are designed to shift the atmosphere because we believe the right words at the right time can transform the course of a life. And today, I am just joined by someone whose personal journey is a living testimony of what it means to hear God clearly and then follow his instructions boldly. Brian Heilig. Brian's story is powerful, guys. In a moment of prayer, he asked God what he wanted him to do with his life. The answer came instantly. Write the book, spread about the message, and then transform lives by doing that. Today, the first part of that call is complete, the second is in motion, and the third is already unfolding. His faith journey has been deeply inspired by the miraculous and challenging experience of his first son's traumatic birth, an experience that has fueled his mission to encourage others to seek God and trust his purpose no matter the obstacles. Guys, we're going to skip the announcements. We'll keep those for the end. Let's jump right into this conversation with my new brother. Please help me welcome to the virtual roundtable, Brian Heilig. Hey, sir, how are you?
Good. Hi, how are you, Kenyon?
I'm doing well, doing well. Thank you again for being here and for agreeing to come and just have a conversation with me.
Yeah, absolutely. I look very forward to it. I've heard your different talks and roundtables, and
Yeah.
just honored to be here.
Well, man, this talk today is going to be, I believe, transformative in the way, of people really seeing what it looks like to obey God, even in the midst of trauma and even in the midst of things that it seems like, all is lost for a moment. But it's really a testament of how God can take your story and really use it for the masses, man. And just your courage to tell the story. I mean, thank you, first of all, for even having that courage to obey.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said from your opening is, we're starting a little bit in the middle, and we can
Yeah.
go back and then forward. But after years of procrastination writing this book, I'm in church one day and the pastor literally says, "Have you ever asked God what he wants you to do with your life?" And
Hmm.
I was like, "Well, no, I've always just gone and done what I wanted."
Right.
And it's, I've done okay, but it never really felt like it worked, or there was much purpose behind it. And he said, "Close your eyes and just ask." I said, "Okay." Close my eyes. What do you want? And it was, like you said, it was instant. It was, write the book, speak about it, and
Yeah.
transform lives. And that
Yeah.
was my mantra for, the whole time writing the book and so forth. So we're in phase 2, if you will, which is speaking about it. I'm here, and I'm looking forward to transforming lives.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, man. It's just that simple, right? It's just that simple. Taking a moment, taking a beat, taking the time to really tune into the Holy Spirit and to God and saying, "Hey, what do you want from my life? You are, after all, are the creator of all things and my life." And the very least I could do is to ask the Maker,
Yeah.
what does He want with what He has created. Let's start walking through the journey for a moment. Why don't you officially introduce yourself to our viewers? What part of the nation are you in? And what is the beginnings of the story of Brian, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, originally from Chicago. Met my wife in high school when we were 15 years old.
Another similarity. Okay.
Her family moved back to Florida where she was raised,
Okay.
and years later we got together. I ended up moving to Florida. We reunited and everything, and on our journey of being together, finally got married and so forth. And we were young, so we wanted to take everything slow, and took a long time to do things. But then we were like, wait, we're 30, we should probably start trying to have kids.
Right.
And we just decided, okay, if it happens, great. If not, like, we're not stressed out about it. Let's just go for it. Then about 6-7 years later, we're going, it's not working. What's going on? So we got tested and so forth. And unfortunately, Diana, she was not producing as many eggs, and the eggs that she was producing were not very fertile or strong, rather. They were kind of weak. So we then took it to another level and said, okay, well, again, biological clock is ticking. What can we do about it? And we tried IVF. Well, she did. Guys can't handle that.
Of course.
She tried the IVF in the States, and it was the day of implantation. And the doctor called and said, don't come. None of the embryos made it. And that was, it was, in the moment, it was devastating. We didn't, for what women go through for IVF is incredible. So it was a big letdown. We ended up becoming foster parents to adopt, and we had little baby Eva. We got her at 8 days old, but then we had to give her back to her parents at 5 months.
Oh, wow.
And then we were like, that's it. We're out. We're not going to have kids, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Fast forward a few years after that, a company that I used to work with in Mexico called and said, hey, we're getting the band back together, but we're going to be in Cancun this time. Do you want to come out? And we talked about it and just said, yeah, let's roll. And Diana said, one of the conditions is that I go through IVF again. I said, okay, babe. It's very different in Mexico as far as a little bit more of a humanistic approach and so forth, and a seventh of the cost, so that helped. But lo and behold, she became pregnant.
Wow.
So we were very excited. Now we're at 41 years old, and it was going well. She was a high risk, for age and for IVF. So she was really taking it easy. And then suddenly, 25 and a half weeks, essentially, she developed severe preeclampsia. So her blood pressure was sky high, and her organs and body, everything was starting to shut down. So they had to deliver Grayson at literally 26 weeks and 0 days to save her life.
Wow.
And that enters our story, of insanity. We spent the next 21 days with Grayson. He was 12 inches long and 1.6 pounds.
Wow.
Smallest baby I've ever seen in my life. And we spent 21 days in the NICU in Mexico. Diana had to go into the ICU, and she was there for several days. Finally, she started stabilizing, and then we air evacuated Grayson to Miami. He stayed another 84 days, so 105 days in the NICU. But listen, I'm so grateful because he just turned 8 years old.
Yes. Thank God. I mean, the story is just unimaginable. And I say this because, my wife and I, we've gone through our our own, trials with that. We lost one,
Mm.
and she actually had to birth him, and we got a chance to hold him and all of that. And so, I'm always, I can feel and understand the journey that people like you, Brian, and your wife have had to go through. But so many people find it to be unfathomable. And to be
Mhm.
honest with you, those who are in it, it's atrocious at that time that you're going through it. What are
Yeah.
some of the thoughts that you're thinking? What are some of the things that you're going through in your mind and your heart as you see your wife experiencing this? I mean, you said that you were in Mexico for work, and
Yeah.
so you're having to work, you're dealing with what you guys are going through. What's going on in your heart and your mind?
Yeah, I mean, everything stopped, you know. I mean,
Okay.
it all happened so fast. You know, her blood pressure went up. The doctor said go to the hospital. You know, 2 hours later, they're admitting her, and we had to deliver the baby. It was like,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
how do you even do that? Like, she was hardly even showing. It was like we just took the halfway picture, and she had a tiny baby bump, you know. And I'm just like,
Yep.
so that's what I couldn't understand. I kept saying, I don't
Yep.
understand. I don't understand.
I get it.
Because nobody puts micro preemie in their birth plan.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
nobody puts preeclampsia in the birth plan, so you're just totally unprepared, and it's like you are boarding a bullet train that's on the move. You know,
Hmm.
you're just
Hmm.
hanging out for dear life. So I just it's interesting you say that because on my TikTok I'm Micro Preemie Dad, and we have a woman that just reached out to me, and she said, "Listen, my baby was born at 26 weeks. I'm 54 days into the NICU, and I need help. You know, I
Mm.
don't know what to do. I don't know where to turn." And so it's to be able to have some kind of knowledge of what that uncertainty is like.
Yeah.
I'm just blessed and grateful that I'm able to at least talk her through a little bit of time. I have no idea who it is, but you know,
Yeah, I think God sometimes, allows us to go through things because of those very reasons, that there are going to be individuals that need our stories and that need our process and journey. And in and of itself, that makes us a leader. Um, what are some of the other things that God has called you to do? Like he said, write the book
yeah.
and tell the story and transform lives. So is it a tour? Is it, I mean, what is it? Do you know what God is really wanting to do in this hour with this book?
Well, it's so funny. I'm always, you know, I'm like the control freak, which never works. And
Yeah.
so this is this is the one time where I when we were going through it, we did a Facebook live with my friend, and he kind of interviewed us because we just could not get back in touch with every single person individually. So at that time, you know, 8 years ago, we did a Facebook live and just answered a bunch of questions. And
Hmm.
someone on there was like, "Man, the story is just so unbelievable that you should write a book, or it should be a movie." And our
Yeah.
friend in the comments put, "You should write a book." And at the time, you're like, "Yeah, right." You know, I just don't even know if my baby's going to survive the next hour. You know, so but that seed was planted, and then years later, we couldn't get it out of our head. Diane and I talked about it, and you know, I was like, yeah, I should write the book. I've never written a book. I don't know how to
Yeah.
write. Like I can hardly spell, you know? So it's like, sure, someday I'll do that. And it was 3 years of someday. And finally, that's when it all changed when I was at church and he said, "What do you want God to do?" And it was the first time in my life where I I think this phrase is overused, you know, let go and let God. But
Yeah.
it's but that concept is the first time where I actually just said okay. I think it's because the first time I ever asked God what He wants me to do with my life. And so I literally got writing like that next day. I wrote the first word, it turned into the first sentence, paragraph, and so forth. But I let that mantra be my driving force. Write the book, speak about it, transform lives, and not knowing a thing. In other words, I don't know. I don't know what I think it looks like. is because for my profession, I actually speak, you know, in front of people and so forth. I'm a trainer, sales trainer. And so my vision is that I'm going to be on stage so that I can reach, you know, massive amount of people. And, you know, there's going to be connectors there because, you know, we want to be able to put proper incubators into Mexican hospitals because they don't
I
have
love
them. Or they
that.
didn't at the time. They didn't at the time.
Mhm.
So I'm moving forward daily, not
Mhm.
knowing what the outcome is, which is
Yeah,
different for me.
it's total obedience.
Yeah.
And I could even hear it as you speak. It's like, God, I'm here and I'm taking it one step at a time. I have thoughts, I have an idea, but I'm just moving forward. I think for me, I find that to be the most nerve-wracking but best route to go.
Yeah.
You know, of course, we could plan all day, and it is necessary in most regards. But then I say, once you do the plan and write it out, let it all go.
Yeah.
You know, because you just never know. God may say, okay, now turn left.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, talk to me about how this process, this entire journey has really shaped your faith and your leadership.
100% it has. In other words, I never didn't believe in God, but I was
Yeah.
never a practicing, you know, Christian.
Mhm.
Wouldn't, we didn't really go to church or what have you. And so
Yeah.
in the beginning of our journey, and it was, why, God? Like, why are you
Okay.
doing it to us? Why are how we're not bad people? You know, there's people that don't want kids that are just having them, and then when we went through the, you know, foster program,
Right.
not everyone, but most people, it's easier just to have another kid and not do everything you need to do to get your kid back. And so we're
Right.
like, well, these people, you know, so it was a lot of blame. It was like, that's how it started. But, but man, I'll never forget. There was a, you know, when you get to a point where you're on your knees,
Mm. Oh
then
yeah.
you can say, help me, God. There's
Hmm.
nowhere else to turn. So at that point, which was in the hospital, I remember vividly. I felt all alone. Like, yes, my mom was there, her mom was there, but I was alone. Do you know? Like, this is
Yeah.
my girl that I've
Yeah.
known since I'm 15. Our first baby. I have zero control. And the thing that magnified the issue was that we don't speak Spanish. And
Yeah.
at that level in the NICU, I mean, we would have translators come and they couldn't translate because they don't understand the NICU terminology to be able to translate it. So it was a complete in the dark. Like, I was alone. That's what my kind of forward thought was.
Yeah.
And I'm in the chapel there. It's not a chapel like you would think in this hospital. It was everything was white. The white bench, white floors, like snow white, glistening white.
Mm.
The windows were frosted white. The light was coming in, so it was kind of created this like glow. And then there was these beautiful fresh flowers on this white, you know, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
display. And I just remember looking down and I'm like, man, I'm all alone. I just don't know what to do. And I then looked up, and to the left, there was one picture on the wall, and it was a rustic frame, gold flecking, and it was a picture of Jesus.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not alone. I'm
No.
not alone. And that's what then started to really have me get my pursue, if you will, God, pursue Jesus, and
Yeah.
in the midst of all that insanity.
I think, you know, because I've been there with you as well, you know, asking God why. Okay, we're not horrible people. We're not bad people. We're not out here doing God knows what. You know, and for me, mine was a bit more dramatic. I was like, God, I know some people who are not living for you, but my wife and I, you know, what I say, we have similarity there. We met at 15.
Ah, no kidding.
Yeah, through a mutual friend in high school. And, you know, we both were just always on a journey of, you know, serving God. We were, you know, always wanting to be before the Lord, meeting up at, youth events and just things like that. So we were those kids. And so fast forward it into, in our 20s after we got married, for her to get hit with not one, but three different rough pregnancies.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It was like there was a whole season of like maybe 5 years or so, 5, 6 years of us having kids. And it was just rough. But here I am, I'm looking at other people
Yeah.
and they're just
Happily
making
pregnant,
babies.
having kids.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, what is it? What is it? Have I missed something? But I'm going somewhere with this because what I realized even for my own journey, Brian, is that a lot of times God trusts you with trouble.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times God trusts you with things that you never had in your plan. And he's so good, right? And he's so sovereign that he'll get good out of it for you, and he'll get good out of it for everyone else in the situation and those who watch.
Yes, totally. One of the things that I really talk to people about now, especially, people that are pregnant or if they're just newly into the NICU or what have you, is, or really, I just talk to everybody, really. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter what your situation is. I really try through my situation. I urge everybody to get with God before you need him.
I love that.
Because, in the moment, it's like we went through why God, help me, God. But as we came through it, it was thank you, God, you know.
Mm,
But I know people that have been through insanity with their lives, with kids or whatever, that had their faith secure and locked in. And
yeah,
what it did for them when they were going through the down times, they got through it with much more certainty and faster, and with less, harm, if you will, on their psyche and bodies and all of that,
yeah,
because they had God first.
yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. For me, um, having an early experience in relationship with God and all of those things, it really showed me something about me.
Mhm.
It showed me I could stand to grow in my faith.
Yeah.
I could, you know what I'm saying? No one is exempt from the opportunity to grow in obedience, to grow in faith and things of that nature. And maybe that's someone who's watching right now. You're asking a question of why do you have to go through whatever it is? Maybe it's not with having children, maybe it's with building this business, or maybe it's with building this ministry, or what have you.
Yep.
And things aren't going the way that you planned them. And you're really, like Brian said, I love it. You're going through that why God, why me stage, maybe just maybe God is trusting you with this opportunity, and maybe he's trying to get good out of it. But also, maybe, just maybe, you, just like you could stand a little growth,
Yes.
in faith. He's going to always grow your faith, right? No matter what.
So Kenyon, this is the incredible power of the divinity, right? So
Mhm.
before this call in the back, I'm like, wait, I got to find a verse.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
Like
I
you,
remember
you
that.
have
I
no
remember.
idea
Yeah.
what the verse is. Okay,
Yep.
right now our conversation is going here. May I read this verse?
Absolutely. Please do.
So I don't know why, but I turned to James. All right, James 1:2-4.
Yeah.
Consider it a great joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you experience various trials, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance.
Hmm.
And let endurance have its full effect, so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing.
Wow. I didn't know the scripture.
Ah, it's so good.
Yeah,
I,
when you were looking for it before we came
yeah,
live,
no,
I,
I
I
did.
didn't know what the scripture was, but that's so befitting for this hour and this moment and this time, even in this discussion.
Incredible.
Um, I always think of that when I hear that scripture, though. It's like you allow us to experience these things, right? So that we can maturate and so that we could grow and we could become the full version of what you intended.
Crazy. Listen, from my why God moment to today, 8 years
Yeah.
later, I'm telling you, I'm if I have one regret in life, it's
Mhm.
that I didn't get with God sooner in my life.
Wow.
And so I just really try to press upon people to just get in there, get in the word, get in the book, go to do something, you know.
Yeah.
But it's all in all the downturns. I sometimes talk about that scripture, like the woman that I told you about on my TikTok. She's about to get that because it
Yeah.
just came to me that she's in it, and she's a woman of faith, but
Yeah.
her faith is wavering, and I was like, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
This is all gonna be for the greater
Yeah.
good.
It's always going to be for the greater good. I mean, whether we agree with it or not, God's going to get his glory. That's how my family, I'm from Atlanta. So,
Okay.
I live in Dallas, but I'm from Atlanta. So we can get a bit country.
Yeah, yeah. Go for it.
My family would always say, no matter what, God's going to get his glory,
Hmm.
and he's going to
Yeah.
work it out. Even if you in your, state of humanity feel that, it's not going to work out.
It somehow always does.
It's
And you
somehow.
know what else? The other thing that's interesting is it releases so much stress and
Mhm,
pressure.
mhm.
It's like, okay, I'm asking and I'm listening, and then all I have to do is do, but I don't know the outcome. I'm just obeying,
Mhm.
and I have the trust and the faith creates the calmness in your
Right.
life, and it's never going to be when I want, how I want, all that kind of stuff, but it's always good when it's easy to look back and connect the dots. You're like, oh, got it,
Mhm.
got it. So
Mhm.
that happened because of that, and that.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible if you don't if you just open yourself up and just go for it. Now you can't just lay on the couch either. You know what I
Of
mean? You
course.
got to do some kind of steps. But for me to not know the exact route is my struggle, and so
Yeah.
that's what this book, lesson, speaking, and so forth is teaching me and hopefully others.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the as we bring this and land this conversation, what's the number one thing if you were in a crowd of 10,000 and they said we need Brian to come to the stage and to share? What's the one thing you believe God is calling for you, asking for you to share to audience all over? What's that one thing you would say to that 10,000?
I really feel it's get with God before you need Him.
Mm,
Every book that I've read, like I don't read like normal books. My whole life, I've always read self help books or self help seminars or
yeah.
whatever. And I did that my whole life
Hmm.
first, and then I took last year 2024 and I did the Bible in a year. And I just my mind kept being blown and blown because I would read and go, well, that's that book.
Yeah.
That's that self help book. That's the seminar I went to, Ecclesiastes. That's the seminar I went to.
Yeah.
It all comes back to the Bible and God. And
It does.
so, why are we fighting it?
Mm,
How many miracles do you need to witness or see to believe? Like, one's good.
yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
everyone's had a miracle in their life if they're
Yeah.
looking for it. But I cannot press upon on people enough that it makes life so simple if you just nothing else. In other words, there's zero other idols or whatever.
Mhm.
It all just leads back to here. It's just so simple, one place. And the beautiful thing is it's a never ending 2000 page or whatever it is, reservoir of everything that you possibly need in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, marriage issues. Okay, what does the Bible say about it? How do I discipline my kids? How do I deal with my kid having autism now?
Yeah.
Grayson's, he was diagnosed with autism.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
what do I start a business? How do I start a business? All of it. The whole answer is just right there. We did, and we keep searching for all these external things when it's right there. It's just right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So get with God before you need Him.
I love that, man. I mean, simple and the best decisions you could ever make, if you accept him today.
Yeah,
And if you would decide to open up and walk with him, after all, whether we agree or not, the person who's watching, whether they agree or not, we're all his creation.
yeah,
He created us. And the best thing to do is to take the creation back to the manufacturer and to see, what did you intend for me, and what's my purpose? Why did you even create me? It's
yeah.
the best way and the best route to move through life. Um, Brian, this has been amazing. I mean, this is you said you're stepping out here and you're talking about this. I really believe that there's an audience for this, man.
Thank you.
And I'm praying, that God opens up not just the window of heaven to pour you out blessings in this, man, but I'm praying that He opens up, like the Apostle Paul says, an effectual, exceeding great door, for you to be able to continue to share this testimony and to share this journey, because there's so many people like you and I who have had to experience it. Um, and I believe that the way that you triumphed, you and your wife and your children, the way that you guys have triumphed and continue to do so, I believe is going to encourage so many others. So,
Yeah.
so grateful for you, man, to be right here on this platform. Talk really quick before we
Yeah.
wrap it up. Share, how people can get the book, how they can stay connected with you. I'm
Yeah.
sure that many people are wanting to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it, Kenyon. I really love this platform and everything that you're doing for others,
Thank
obviously
you.
in His name. So that's all that matters.
Thank you.
So for the book, it's my website is brianheilig.com. So, Heilig. Social media, I just use my name, so it's pretty simple. I do reply personally to anybody that sends a message, whether that's TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram. I do want to let you know that all net proceeds of the book are going to be going toward helping put proper equipment, NICU equipment, into Mexican hospitals.
I love that.
And I would love to share his story. I just want to be the conduit
Yeah. Yeah.
to share on these platforms as well as speaking platforms, if that's the way that we're going to go. But yeah, I can be easily found.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. God's gonna have you on stages. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So prepare for that. Guys, this has been, yet again another amazing conversation. I'm truly excited that you had an opportunity to listen in to Brian and I, talk and dialogue about his story and his journey. Man, his obedience to God's voice and willingness to turn life's hardest moment, into messages of hope is truly inspiring. And he and his wife, they are proof that when you say yes to God's assignment, He opens doors for our message to reach those who need it most. All right. Maybe God is telling you to write a book. Maybe He's telling you to speak up. Maybe He's telling you to move forward, step forward. Let Brian's story be the catalyst that pushes you forward today, not tomorrow, today, today. All right. This has been the Global Leaders Roundtable. I'm your host, Kenyon R. Dudley. Look, guys, we have so many things going on. Make sure, for those of you who do not know, that you attend our Global Leaders Virtual Summit. Make sure that you get your ticket. They are on sale now, September 20th through the 21st. We have over 65 speakers from all over the world that are literally going to meet us virtually. South Africa, Canada, Germany, where else? Australia, all over the states. My goodness. They are coming from tech, from government, education, ministry, I mean, healthcare, you name it. We're all converging in one place and we're sharing our stories, our leadership journeys, our strategies that God has given us to be most effective in business and entrepreneurship and all of that. You do not want to miss it. Make sure that you are a part of it. And lastly, I have a free group out there. If you are a speaker or want to be a speaker or looking for stages, I've got a group on Facebook that's called Need a Speaker. And man, it is growing. It is growing. It is growing. We're almost at 400 people in just, I think, a month or month and a half. And speakers and event producers and hosts are networking and coming together. Folks are literally, guys, they are literally finding new opportunities. And you do not want to miss out on those opportunities. Join now. Need a Speaker is over there on Facebook. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time.